This is our solution project. In the United States, millions of kids enroll in school each year. Boys and girls alike have an equal chance at getting a high-quality education from a variety of public and private schools. In America, the standard is that all people, regardless of gender, should get some form of education. In other countries, some people aren't so fortunate. In many third world countries, education remains an inaccessible right for women. Out of the 774 million illiterate people in the world, 2/3 of them are women. What does all of this mean, and how can the lack of education for women affect the economy? Educated women and children will help participate in labor and therefore contribute to the global and national GDP and help break the cycle of poverty. Providing education would benefit women because they will have fewer children, it reduces chances of getting HIV, and they are more likely to send their own children to school. The lack of education for women can be traced back throughout history when women have been regarded as less compared to men. Throughout history, women have been regarded as legal property. Women have been sold or forced into marriages, and in ancient China, women could be exiled if they didn't have a son. In America, women could vote 100 years after men could. In today's day and age, women's rights are being taken away in the form of education. It is known that education equals power, and when you take education away from women, they become powerless. Many individuals and groups have recognized the importance of making women's education a number one priority. Groups across the world are making a difference every day in trying to raise more awareness in the news for women's education and setting up schools in third world countries. Some organizations are CAMFED, which supports girls and women in poor communities in sub-Saharan Africa, Girl Up, which gives girls the ability to raise funds and awareness for educating adolescent girls, and lastly, Vital Voices, which sends leaders to mentor transpiring women leaders. There are many solutions to try to tackle the lack of education for women. One way is supporting a girl in a third world country. This is a great way a large amount of people can get involved because it only takes one family to send donations and supplies to send a girl to school. The only downside is that it focuses on one child instead of a group, which doesn't allow as much girls to become educated. Fundraising through a local community to send money to nonprofit organizations or supplies over to schools for girls is an effective way to spread awareness. A negative aspect of this is that fundraisers are hard to organize and they take a large amount of time, space, and money. Finally, creating a nonprofit organization allows for a large-scale group of people to be involved, as well as helping more girls and women in need on a broader scale. Unfortunately, creating an organization can often take years and requires many volunteers. The best solution would be to create a class within schools that would help support women's education. Each region of the U.S. would have a focus on our particular country to support. The country would be split up into 5 regions, each taking a different country to support women's education. The 5 regions would be West Guatemala, Southwest Dominican Republic, Midwest Haiti, Southeast Jamaica, and Northeast Nepal. High schools and colleges around the country would have a class called Global Rights and Education, where students would learn about global rights and raise funds for women's education in developing countries. This would teach U.S. students business skills, global rights, and the importance of helping people in need. During the school year, if enough funds are raised, the students would be able to go to a country and help build schools and educate people for a week or 2. In the future, equality for women in the form of education could become so prominent that it won't need to be a number one priority anymore. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our Solutions Project.
Created using Powtoon.